Imagine you're the IT manager in a large firm. How do you decide what information technology to buy your employees to let them do their jobs? Well, one thing that you could do is give each employee a slice of the budget and let them just go out to PC World and buy their own devices. It's something called Bring Your Own Device. Now, I've had a quick look into this, and there's not that much research in this area. Most of the research seems to be around securing the network and keeping passwords and access secure. There isn't a lot on how employees behave when they're given a budget, because it could be that they go out and buy something for their own use and their own benefit rather than the company benefit. Alternatively, what you might do is go to an online magazine and read some reviews. So here we have two laptops with 6 different features, and each of the laptops have been rated by some sort of online magazine. Now, how do we assess the two? Well, one thing we could do is take the average. Now, the problem with that is that if one of these laptops is per in every area except one, where it is exceptional, then that laptop will beat, or could beat, another because the average is dragged up. So we could end up giving our employees quite a poor machine. Alternatively, we could assess each laptop and ask ourselves, if we randomly select one feature from this laptop and one feature from this laptop, over time, if we do that repeatedly, which laptop is more likely to win? Now, there's a professor of mathematics at Cambridge University called Tadashi Tadika, who has come up with quite a straightforward way of assessing this without doing any complicated mathematics. And the key is to realise that laptop Y will beat laptop Z half the time. So half the time, if we select a feature from here, it will be a 7, and the 7 will beat all of these. Now, of the remaining 3, sometimes a 2 will beat a 0. So we would say that laptop Y beats laptop Z half the time plus some extras. So overall, Y will beat Z. And we can do the same thing with any other number of devices. So here we've got laptop X, and we're going to assess whether or not X beats Y or Y beats X. And what we can do is we can see this time that Y will lose to X half the time. So half the time a 2 will come up, and over here whatever comes up will beat it. And of the remaining half times, a 9 will beat a 7 some of the time. So Y will lose to X half the time plus a little bit. So overall, X beats Y. And there we have it. Z beats Y, Y beats X, therefore X is the best overall. Except it isn't. What we have to do now is compare X and Z. Now, it's a little bit more complicated, but we can use a similar technique and say that X will beat Z 1 out of 6 times, and Z will lose to X 1 out of 6 times. So less than half the time, Z will lose to X. So over time, Z will tend to beat X. So what we have is Z is beaten by Y, Y is beaten by X, and X is beaten by Z. So we're going round and round in an infinite circle of doom. So the fancy way to describe this is that the choices are non-transitive. And the lesson to learn is that when you assess things like this, when you've got a rank of choices, just because something is at the top of the rank because it beats something in the middle, it does not mean that the top will beat the something at the bottom. So the numbers that I used in that example, I didn't come up with them myself. They were generated by a mathematician at the University of Oxford, Dr. James Graham, and he has created a series of dice that are non-transitive, and I'll put a link down at the bottom so that if you want to, you can get hold of a set yourself.